and those who are interested in learning English grammar to be fluent in English, to be conversant in English, and to write English. I am going to discuss how to transform a simple sentence into a complex sentence by using different methods, miscellaneous methods. I am live streaming and I am going to share my ideas with you about how to transform a simple sentence into a complex sentence by using miscellaneous methods. Hi viewer, it's late at night, but be online because I am live streaming and I am going to discuss grammatical items. Let us start. We should not make our introduction lengthy. Hello viewer, please tell your friends or call your friends to join or to attend my class so that I may be inspired or I may be enthused to discuss how to transform from simple to complex sentence. For example, the storm having subsided, we set out for the village. The storm having subsided, we set out for the village. Clear? It is an example of absolute phrase because there are two subjects. The storm having subsided, we set out for the village. It is an example of simple sentence, and when you turn it into complex sentence, it will be when the storm subsided, we set out for the village. When the storm subsided, hi my buddies, you have joined my class, you have attended my class, and I am going to discuss how to transform a simple sentence into a complex sentence. It will be very much helpful to you to be fluent in English, to be an expert in good English, and also to communicate in English very effectively. So, when the storm subsided, we set out for the village. And let us analyze the sentence. We set out for the village, principal clause. We set out for the village, principal clause. When the storm subsided, it is an adverb clause of time. It is an adverb clause of time and modifying the verb set out. This adverb clause is modifying the verb set out. So it is an example of complex sentence. There is only one principal clause and one subordinate clause. Clear? Now let us come to my second example. Bathing in the river, Swamiji went to the temple. Bathing in the river, Swamiji went to the temple. It is an example of participle because here the subject is the same person, that is Swamiji, Swami Vivekananda. So bathing in the river, Swamiji went to the temple. There is only one finite verb in it, that is went. And if you turn it into a complex sentence, you will have to say or write, Swamiji went to the temple after he had bathed in the river. After he had bathed in the river. And you see that if you analyze the sentence, Swamiji went to the temple, principal clause. Swamiji went to the temple, principal clause. After he had bathed in the river, it is subordinate adverb clause of time. And modifying the verb, went. Modifying the verb, went. Hello, my dear viewers, my friends who have joined my class, who are listening to my class, are being requested to like, to comment, to share, and if possible, subscribe. And your one subscription is very much valuable to me, so that I may be inspired or enthused to give you more grammatical items. Clear? Now come to the third example. Third example. So I have given you two examples. One is absolute phrase and the other is participle. And both the sentences have been transformed into complex sentence by using adverb clause. By using adverb clause. Clear? Now let us come to my third example. I have already made a lesson plan as usual because I was a teacher in a high school for more than 37 years, and that is why I always give you or always try to give you some lessons which will be very much helpful to you. Now my third example. In spite of his illness, he attended the meeting. In spite of his illness, he attended the meeting. Then how will you turn it into a complex sentence? For example, though he was ill, he attended the meeting. It is an example of adverb clause of contrast. It is an example of adverb clause of contrast. For example, he attended the meeting. It is principal clause. He attended the meeting, principal clause. Though he was ill, it is subordinate adverb clause of contrast. And modifying the verb, attended, in clause number 1. So all the three sentences are the examples of adverb clause. First two are adverb clause of time, and the third one is adverb clause of contrast. Now come to the fourth example. Having taken my lunch, I went to school. So here the subject is the same person, that is I. And when the subject is the same person, you have only one option, that is to use participle. That is to use participle when the subject is the same person. Here the subject is same, that is I. Having taken my lunch, I went to school. So, if you turn it into a complex sentence, you will have to write, I went to school after I had taken my lunch. So, I went to school, principal clause. After I had taken my lunch, subordinate adverb clause of time, and modifying the verb went in clause number 1. Clear? So when you are speaking with your friends, relatives, family members, you may use both simple sentence and complex sentence, but your option depends upon how much do you know, how much you can speak English, how much you can write English efficiently, correctly, and very elegantly. That is the question. Next item. Having entered the temple, Swamiji knelt down in front of Shiva. Having entered the temple, Swamiji knelt down in front of Shiva. And you see that here or in this sentence, there is only one subject, that is Swamiji. And when Swamiji is the only subject, you are at liberty to use participle. And how will you use participle? You see that having entered the temple, Swamiji knelt down in front of Shiva. Now, turn into a complex sentence. So, Swamiji knelt down in front of Shiva when he entered the temple. When he entered the temple, it is an adverb clause of time. Let us analyze the sentence. Swamiji knelt down, K-N-E-L-T, knelt down in front of Shiva, principal clause. When he entered the temple, subordinate adverb clause of time, and modifying the verb knelt down. Now I am giving you a little pause to understand if you are able to understand what I am speaking or what I am trying to make you understand. Clear? Again, I am repeating that I am trying to transform a simple sentence into a complex sentence. Clear? Into a complex sentence. And in the complex sentence, I am using adverb clause of time, adverb clause of contrast, etc. Clear? And Anubhav has also joined my class, and please like, comment, and subscribe, my dear friends. My friends, my viewers, my patrons, please like, comment if you have any question in your mind. I am giving you a little pause, and you may type any kind of question and I will try my level best to solve it. Clear? Now, terrorism, a curse to human society, must be abolished at the root. Suppose there is a sentence, terrorism, comma, a curse to human society, comma, must be abolished at the root. And it is an example of noun in apposition or phrase in apposition. Terrorism, and terrorism is a noun. A curse to human society is a noun phrase. So when a noun and a noun phrase take their places side by side and suggest the same thing or the same object or the same person, one is called apposition to other. And taken together, they are called noun in apposition or phrase in apposition. And it is an example of simple sentence. So, we will try to turn it into a complex sentence. We will try our complex sentence. And how will we do it? Terrorism, which is a curse, must be abolished at the root. Terrorism, which is a curse to human society, must be abolished at the root. And if we analyze the sentence, it will stand thus. Terrorism must be abolished at the root. It is principal clause or independent clause. Clear? It is principal clause or independent clause. Terrorism must be abolished at the root. And then, which is a curse to human society, which is a curse to the human society, it is an example of a relative clause or subordinate adjective clause. You know that the adjective clause is also called a relative clause. It is an example of relative clause or adjective clause. And qualifying the noun terrorism. Here, terrorism is an antecedent. Here, terrorism is an antecedent because an antecedent, you know, is either a noun or a pronoun or a noun phrase that precedes the relative pronoun. Here, the relative pronoun is which. Here, the relative pronoun is which. Terrorism, which is a curse to human society. Terrorism, which is, can we really say, is accords to. Okay, I will discuss later this matter. Can we really say is accords to? No, you can't say this. Here is a grammatical rule, and this grammatical rule will be explained later. Is accords to is a wrong English or wrong expression. Clear? Accords is used when the subject is third person and singular number. According to, maybe, is accords to is a wrong expression, my dear friend, and later we will discuss your expression. Now let us come to another example. What is the example? Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was born In a middle class Muslim family, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was born in a middle class Muslim family. Living amicably with the Hindu families. Living amicably with the Hindu families. Clear? Now, it is an example of simple sentence. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was born in a middle class Muslim family which lived amicably with the Hindu families. Which lived amicably with the Hindu families. Now let us analyze the sentence. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was born in a middle class Muslim family. Principal clause. It is independent clause and which lived amicably with the Hindu families. It is subordinate adjective clause or relative clause and qualifying the noun Muslim family. Clear? Now let us come to another example. The death news of Netaji in a plane crash was not at all true. The death news of Netaji in a plane crash was not at all true. Clear? It is an example of simple sentence. The death news of Netaji is in a plane crash was not at all true. Now let us convert it or transform it into a complex sentence. The death news of Netaji or the news of death of Netaji which occurred in a plane crash, or you may start it in the noun clause subject to the verb. For example, it is a very good expression that Netaji died in a plane crash was not at all true. That Netaji died in a plane crash was not at all true. And how will you analyze it? Start the first bracket. That Netaji died in a plane crash, bracket close, was not at all true. It is the principal clause. That Netaji died in a plane crash, it is noun clause and subject to the verb was. Clear? Was. It is an example of noun clause subject to the verb. So it is a very good expression that Netaji died in a plane crash was not at all true. And I am giving you my last example today. Sister Nivedita came to India with a mission of giving education to the woman. Sister Nivedita came to India with a mission of giving education to the woman. It is also an example of simple sentence. And how will you transform it into a complex sentence? Sister Nivedita came to India because he wanted. Sister Nivedita came to India because she had a mission. Again I am repeating. Sister Nivedita came to India because she had a mission to give education to the woman. Because is an adverb clause of reason. Because She had a mission to give education to the woman. It is adverb clause of reason. And modifying the verb, came to India. Came. Thank you very much. Good night. Stay safe, stay mellow. And I fervently hope, and I am too much optimistic that all of you will like, comment, and subscribe my channel and Easy State to English Grammar. Thanking all of you. Good night.